with Steve and Edie. Not only did I get to have drinks with Frank Sinatra, Steve and Edie, but for the next 3 hours, they sang every song in the American Songbook with this guy trying to find his way through them. And I thought, this is really terrible, but what a moment, my gosh. But, I'm always a little leery. When you don't have proper accompaniment, you don't want to hear anybody sing. You don't want to do that. Unless it's Frank Sinatra, Steve and Edie. They could sing in a rainstorm and they'd love it. So, God bless great Steve Lawrence, who just died. The Mother Angelica story goes like this, though. In 1978, Mother Angelica walked into a Chicago studio. It was at the top of a skyscraper. And she couldn't figure out how the interview they were doing was going broadcast nationally. And so she asked the guy, she said, how's the signal getting out? He said, oh, you see that satellite out there? That is how you beam the signal up to the satellite, and then it goes all over the country. And she pressed her face up against the glass, and she said, oh, Lord, I gotta have one of these. And that was the beginning, really. That was the first inspiration. That was the beginning of the whole enterprise. Well, she gets back to Birmingham, and she realizes there's only one company that makes these satellite dishes. It's RCA. And she gets a friend of hers to give her a list of the RCA vice presidents. Now, those of you who know Canton, Ohio, or Cleveland, you know, we Italians like to do business with our own. It's the way we roll. We just like to, you keep it in the family. So, Mother Angelica went down the list and she was looking at all the vice presidents, looking for any name that ended in A, I, or O, because she wanted a paisan who she could work with. She found a guy, the vice president, who I interviewed when I did the biography, and according to him, he said, I felt like Joe Frazier at the end of the 12th round. She just beat the heck out of me. Every time I tried to get out of giving her the satellite, she kept coming back, and the conversation went something like, hello, it's Mother Angelica. Who? And she goes, Mother Angelica, I'm down here in Birmingham, Alabama. I need one of those satellites. The big satellites. They tell me you make those really big ones. Yeah, we make them. Well, I need one of those. Well, do you have $2.5 million? That's the cost of that satellite. Well, this is the challenge, Jimmy. Who is this? The guy said. So he went round and round. Finally, he said, look, okay, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. The only way I could make this work, I can't just give you the satellite lady. But if you could give me a down payment, I could have the satellite delivered to you. I'll authorize the delivery, but you have to have payment before a piece of equipment comes off that flatbed. Do you understand? Yes. Can you get that? It's going to be $600,000. Can you get $600,000? The Lord has all the money in the world. God bless you. You're laughing now. Hold on. 3 weeks later, the two flatbeds pull onto at this point, it's a dirt road with goats and sheep, and, it's rustic. This is Birmingham, Alabama. This isn't like Madison Avenue. Satellite comes, there it is, she's beaming, she's on her crutches, she just can't wait. And she goes to the delivery man, he says, oh, well, I've got your delivery, but I need you have $600,000, I need a $600,000 check. Sweetheart, have you ever been to a monastery before? No, I haven't. Come on, I'll take you on a tour. And she took him to see the goats and the sheep and the chapel and the nuns and the cannolis and the pasta, and she was shoving it all on him. She had nothing, not one red cent, nothing. Literally $200 in the bank. Zero. But this is the beautiful thing about her, and it's the thing I learned watching her, and this story, I think, is emblematic of it. When Mother Angelica felt she had hit a brick wall, she would go and pray about it, and if nothing moved, she realized at that point that it was her will and not God's will, and she would drop it like a hot rock and move on to the next thing. It's great, but she never tested inspirations. She ran it. So she goes into the chapel. She kneels down. You husbands will love this story. She kneels down. She looks up at the Blessed Sacrament. She says, well, your satellite's out front. I have no need for a satellite. You wanted this, and now you got to pay me. I don't know. says, "Your satellite. I don't need a satellite at all. But you wanted it, it's here, we need to pay the money. I don't need a satellite." And that went on for a few minutes, and I guess she expected the money to come dropping through the ceiling. It did not happen that way. And she dropped it. She determined at that moment she had to turn the delivery away. She pushed and connived and bullied and cajoled as much as she could, and she was just out of options. She got the crutches, she walked outside into the sunlight, and she's telling the delivery man, "Look, I'm very sorry, I'm so sorry you came all this way." And Sister Emmanuel, who's still alive, Sister Emmanuel comes running out of the monastery and says, Mother, we have a real problem on our hands. This man keeps calling. He says it's very urgent. He needs to talk to you. He says he's called like 7 times, Mother. He says it's urgent. He's got to talk to you right now. She says, "Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, sister, I got big business here." And she goes, "I know, but this man, he won't get off the phone." He says, "Emergency. I've got him on hold, though. He wants to talk to you." He said, "He's got to talk now. He won't get off. He's going to come down here if we don't get..." Good Lord Jesus. You just wait a second. I'll go take the call. She goes, takes the call. It's a guy from the Bahamas who had read one of her little mini books years before. She wrote these little mini spiritual books. The book helped him reconcile with his family, get off drugs, and bring his business back to life. And he'd been trying to get in touch with her for the last 4 or 5 months because he wanted to make a little donation to her book pamphlet ministry. And he said, "I've been trying to get you, and I want to make a donation. I'll send you the check right now." "How much is it? What's the donation for?" He said, $600,000. "Can you send it right now?" she said. He wired the money that day, and I didn't believe this story. Lisa will tell you, I'm the doubting Raymond of the whole act here. When I heard this story, I thought, no, this couldn't happen. I went down to South Trust Bank 20-something years ago. I pulled the receipts, and there, on that day at 12:45, $600,000 appears. She had $600,200. And I saw the receipt, so it's true. That is the money that paid for the satellite, but to this moment, beams EWTN all over North, South, and Canada. It's pretty incredible. And a testament to her great faith, her witness, and her determination. Yeah, so that's the satellite story.
If you will indulge a couple more questions, that was a fantastic answer.
Yeah, that was long. I know that.